Have you ever felt utterly overwhelmed by the noise around you, the endless stream of opinions, expectations, and the relentless pressure of keeping up? Imagine this. Ancient Stoic philosophers over 2,000 years ago faced the same human emotions, struggles, and questions about identity and purpose that we grapple with today. It's fascinating, isn't it, that the wisdom from centuries past still holds profound relevance in our modern, fast-paced world. Today, we're diving deep into the Stoic way of life, uncovering timeless truths that can help us navigate the chaos of the 21st century with grace, resilience, and profound inner peace. Whether you're struggling with stress, seeking meaning, or simply curious about a philosophical approach to life that has stood the test of time, you're in the right place. Together we'll explore how Stoicism isn't just a set of ideas, but a practical guide to living more fully, authentically, and serenely. And if you're eager to embark on this journey of self-discovery and timeless wisdom with us, please hit that subscribe button. And remember, every part of this video is crafted with you in mind, so don't skip any section. Each moment is a step towards a more stoic, resilient you. Isn't it curious how, at some point in our lives, we find ourselves entangled in the web of others' opinions? We often surrender our peace of mind and happiness trying to fit into the molds others create for us. But let's pause for a moment and delve into ancient Stoic wisdom. Marcus Aurelius emphasized the futility of seeking external approval. He urges us to question this innate desire to please others, challenging us to break free from the chains of external validation. It's a liberating thought, isn't it? To realize that the only approval you truly need is your own. Now, think about it. When you lay your head on your pillow at night, it's your thoughts you're left with, not others. So why not make those thoughts about your true self, your values, and your actions? Imagine the freedom of being unapologetically you, not swayed by fleeting opinions or the latest trends. But how do we start caring less about people's opinions? It begins with understanding and reaffirming your values. What do you stand for? What matters most to you? When your actions are in harmony with your beliefs, there's a profound sense of peace and authenticity that no amount of external approval can match. Moreover, embracing your uniqueness attracts the right kind of people into your life. Those who appreciate you for who you genuinely are, not for who they want you to be. It's about quality, not quantity. Having a few meaningful relationships based on mutual respect and understanding is infinitely more fulfilling than seeking the fleeting approval of the masses. It's crucial to remember that people's opinions are just that, opinions. They are subjective, variable, and often more reflective of the person expressing them than of you. As Marcus Aurelius wisely points out, the only constant and true validation comes from within, from living a life aligned with your values and principles. When we talk about being honest, it's easy to default to the idea of not lying to others. But Stoicism invites us to explore honesty on a much deeper level. It's about aligning our external actions and words with our internal values and beliefs. This alignment fosters a profound sense of integrity and wholeness. Imagine the peace that comes from knowing your actions are not just surface-level performances, but true reflections of your inner self. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, really hammers this point home. He suggests that honesty doesn't just make moral sense, it makes practical sense. Think about it. Deceit requires us to remember our lies, cover our tracks, and live in constant fear of being found out. It's mentally exhausting. Honesty, on the other hand, is simple and liberating. It frees us from the tangled web of deceit and allows us to live with ease and clarity. But here's the real kicker. Honesty affects not only our relationship with others, but also with ourselves. When we are honest with ourselves about our strengths, our flaws, and our desires, we pave the way for genuine growth and self-acceptance. It's like clearing out the clutter in our minds to make room for more peace, more understanding, and more authentic connections with the people around us. And yet, embracing honesty is not always easy. It requires courage and vulnerability. It means sometimes admitting we were wrong, facing our mistakes, and dealing with the consequences of our actions. But the reward, trust, respect, and a clear conscience is immeasurably worth it. So how can we cultivate this virtue in our daily lives? It starts with small steps. Practice transparency in your interactions. Reflect on your day and acknowledge moments where you might not have been entirely honest. Ask yourself why and how you can improve. Remember, it's a journey, and every step toward honesty is a step toward a more serene and meaningful life. We've all felt that sting, that immediate reaction when someone's words or actions seem to hit us right where it hurts. Seneca, with his profound understanding of human nature, reminds us to look beyond the surface. He suggests that when someone acts in a way that we find hurtful or offensive, it's often not really about us at all. People act based on their perceptions, their struggles, and their history. It's like everyone is moving through the world wearing a unique pair of glasses that color how they see everything around them, including us. Now, think about a time when you might have snapped at someone or acted in a way that wasn't really you. Chances are you were dealing with something else entirely. Stress, fear, insecurity, or maybe you were just having a really bad day. Now, if we can recognize this in ourselves, why not extend that same understanding to others? This perspective shift, which Seneca advocates, is about empathy, but it's also about self-preservation. When we stop taking things personally, we detach ourselves from the unnecessary pain that comes with believing everyone's actions are about us. It's like setting down a heavy burden we've been carrying around. Suddenly, we can breathe, move, and live more freely. But how do we actually do this? How do we stop taking things personally, especially when our emotions are already flared up? It starts with a pause. When you feel that rush of hurt or anger, just pause. Take a breath. Remind yourself of Seneca's words. This might not be about me at all. This simple act of pausing can prevent a reactive spiral and give you space to choose a more reasoned response. It's also about building resilience and understanding. The more we remind ourselves that we don't have the full picture of what someone else is going through, the less likely we are to be wounded by their actions or words. And when we do get hurt, because it will happen, we can treat it as a practice ground for our Stoic principles. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can it help me grow? In embracing this Stoic approach, we not only protect our peace of mind, but also open ourselves up to more compassionate and meaningful interactions. We become less reactive, more understanding, and, in a way, more connected to the humanity in everyone we meet. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about patience. He saw it not just as a passive waiting, but as an active engagement with the present moment, whatever it may hold. To him, being patient was akin to donning armor against the trials of life, transforming potential irritants into lessons of endurance and calm. Think about it. When you're stuck in traffic, there's a kind of freedom in accepting that you can't move faster than the cars in front of you. It's an opportunity to listen to your favorite music, an audiobook, or simply to your own thoughts. This shift doesn't change the traffic, but it changes how you experience it, turning a frustrating wait into a moment of peace or even enjoyment. Similarly, when dealing with a challenging person, imagine if, instead of reacting with irritation or anger, you responded with patience. You give yourself a moment to understand where they're coming from, to recognize that their behavior is more about their own struggles than anything else. This doesn't mean you accept bad behavior, but you respond to it with composure and thoughtfulness, which often diffuses tension and leads to better outcomes for everyone involved. Patience, in the Stoic sense, is about embracing the moment rather than fighting against it. It's about seeing the delay, the annoyance, or the obstacle as part of the path, not a deviation from it. Every moment of impatience is a chance to practice, to deepen your understanding of Stoicism, and to cultivate a serene mind. But how can we cultivate this patience in our everyday lives? It starts with awareness. Recognize when impatience is starting to bubble up inside you. Then pause. Take a deep breath. Remember Marcus Aurelius and the countless others who have faced far greater trials with patience and dignity. Another practical step is to adjust your expectations. Often our impatience stems from things not going according to our plan. But if we remind ourselves that we're not in control of everything, only our response to things, We can set more realistic expectations and find peace in the unfolding of life. However it happens, view each test of patience as an opportunity, not a hurdle. Like a muscle that gets stronger with exercise, your capacity for patience grows every time you choose it over frustration or anger. And the rewards are immense: a calmer mind, less stress, and a reputation as someone who is composed and thoughtful, even in challenging situations. Epictetus knew a thing or two about adversity and integrity. He didn't just lecture about Stoicism in the classroom. He lived it every single day, and he encouraged his students to do the same, to embody their philosophy. It's about making your life a testament to your values, letting your actions speak louder than your words. Imagine the ripple effect you can create by simply living out your principles. When you show kindness, even in difficult situations, others take notice. It might inspire them to act kindly in turn. When you demonstrate integrity, refusing to compromise on your values, it sets a standard for those around you. And when you face adversity with resilience, maintaining a calm and composed demeanor, it can be a beacon of hope for others who are struggling. But how do we actually do this? How do we become an example for others? It starts with self-reflection. Take a moment to consider the values that are truly important to you. What principles do you want to guide your life? Once you have clarity on these, strive to align your actions with your values. It's about making conscious choices every day that reflect who you are and what you stand for. Of course, nobody's perfect. We all have our moments of weakness, our lapses in judgment. But being an example isn't about perfection, it's about striving. It's about making a genuine effort to live according to your ideals, even when it's hard. And when you do slip up, it's about owning your mistakes, learning from them, and moving forward with even greater resolve. Another key aspect of being an example is consistency. It's not just about doing the right thing when it's easy or when people are watching. It's about being consistent in your values, whether you're in the spotlight or alone. This consistency builds trust and respect, and it's what truly sets an example for others. Let's take inspiration from Epictetus and strive to be living embodiments of our philosophy. Whether it's kindness, integrity, resilience, or any other virtue, let's bring it to life in our actions. Remember, you have the power to inspire, to influence, and to make a positive impact on the world around you. Be the change you wish to see, and watch how your example can light the way for others. It seems everywhere we turn, social media, news outlets, even our daily interactions, there's a barrage of negativity, criticism, and yes, the haters. It can be exhausting, but they don't have to dictate your happiness. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about maintaining one's inner peace amidst external turmoil. He spoke of the inner citadel, a fortress within us that no external negativity can breach unless we allow it. This concept is incredibly empowering. Think about it. You have the power to create and maintain a space of peace and calm within you, no matter what storms rage outside. So, how do we tune out the haters and keep our inner citadel secure? First and foremost, it's about recognizing what is and isn't within our control. We can't control what others say or do, the harsh comments they leave, the unkind rumors they spread. But we can control our response. We can choose not to engage, not to internalize their negativity, and not to let it disturb our peace. Another key Stoic strategy is to reflect on the intention behind the negativity. Often those who lash out are struggling with their own issues, insecurities, or pain. Understanding this doesn't excuse their behavior, but it can help us respond with compassion rather than defensiveness or anger. It allows us to see their negativity as their burden, not ours. Practicing mindfulness is also a powerful tool in maintaining our inner citadel. When faced with negativity, take a moment to pause and breathe. Remind yourself that this moment of negativity is just that, a moment. It will pass. You don't have to let it define your day or your mood. By staying present and grounded, you can keep your inner peace intact. It's also helpful to surround yourself with positivity, engage with uplifting content, connect with supportive people, fill your environment with things that bring you joy and peace. Remember, you have the power to curate your own life experience. Choose positivity and let the negativity slide by. Remember that tuning out the haters is not about building walls or becoming indifferent. It's about choosing where to focus your energy and attention. It's about preserving your inner peace and strength so you can face challenges with grace and resilience. Stoicism might seem all about rationality, but there's a big place for love too. Seneca tells us that love isn't just something you feel, it's something you do. It's an active, vibrant energy that you put out into the world, and it has this beautiful boomerang effect. The more love you give, the more you find it coming back to you, often from the most unexpected places. But what does it mean? To be full of love, in a Stoic sense, is about approaching every interaction, every person, with goodwill and benevolence. It's seeing the humanity in everyone, even those who are challenging to deal with. It means wishing well for others, genuinely desiring their happiness and well-being, regardless of how they feel about you. This isn't always easy, especially when faced with negativity or hostility. But it's a powerful stance that can transform not just your own life, but also the lives of those around you. Being full of love also means practicing forgiveness and understanding. Everyone we meet is fighting their own battle, carrying their own burdens. By choosing love and compassion, we lighten their load and our own. We connect on a deeper level, recognizing our shared humanity. Moreover, Stoicism teaches us that love extends beyond just our relationships with people. It's about cultivating a loving relationship with life itself, embracing all its twists and turns with open arms. It's finding joy in the simple things, appreciating the beauty around us, and engaging with the world in a meaningful, positive way. So how can we cultivate this loving, Stoic approach to life? Start small. Offer a kind word to a stranger. Show appreciation to your loved ones. Practice gratitude daily. Reflect on your actions and intentions, asking yourself if they're rooted in love and kindness. And when you encounter negativity or unkindness, try to respond with understanding and compassion. Remember, being full of love isn't about being naive or ignoring the harsh realities of the world. It's about choosing to respond to those realities with love rather than fear or anger. It's a courageous, powerful choice that can lead to true contentment and connection. How often do we find ourselves scrolling through social media, looking at someone else's highlight reel, and feeling like we just don't measure up? But here's a Stoic antidote to this pervasive issue. Focus on your own path, your own growth, and your own achievements. The Stoics, with their profound wisdom, teach us that the only comparison worth making is with who we were yesterday, not with someone else today. This idea is so liberating when you really think about it. Imagine freeing yourself from the endless cycle of looking over your shoulder, worrying about what everyone else is doing and feeling inadequate. The Stoics offer us a different perspective. Your journey is yours alone, rich with its own challenges, triumphs, and lessons. By embracing this, you honor your unique path and cultivate a sense of self-worth that isn't reliant on external validation. But how do we put this into practice, especially in a world that constantly urges us to compare and compete? First, it's about becoming mindful of when we're making these comparisons. Notice that twinge of envy or self-doubt when you see someone else's success or happiness. Acknowledge it, and then gently remind yourself, my path is different, and that's okay. Next, actively celebrate your own achievements, no matter how small they may seem. Did you tackle a difficult task at work? Did you show kindness to a stranger? Did you make time for self-care? These are all victories worth acknowledging. By celebrating your own progress, you reinforce the idea that your journey is valid and valuable. Another powerful Stoic practice is reflecting on your personal growth. Take time to look back at where you were a year ago, 5 years ago, or even a decade ago. Recognize the strides you've made, the obstacles you've overcome, and the lessons you've learned. This reflection not only boosts your self-esteem, but also deepens your appreciation for your unique journey. And remember, the Stoics didn't just talk about personal achievements in terms of career success or material gain. They valued wisdom, virtue, resilience, and inner peace. So when you measure your progress, consider these deeper, more meaningful markers of growth. Are you more patient than you used to be? More compassionate? More resilient? These are the kinds of achievements that truly reflect your growth as a person. In the whirlwind of our daily lives, it's so easy to get caught up in the minutiae, the endless to-do lists and the relentless pursuit of our personal goals. But Stoicism, with its profound insights into the human condition, reminds us of what's genuinely important, the connections we share with the people we love. Stoicism might seem like it's all about self-discipline and resilience, but at its heart, it's deeply concerned with community and relationships. The Stoics understood that our time on this earth is precious and not to be taken for granted. They encourage us to live in the present, to appreciate the here and now, and to value the people who add meaning and joy to our lives. But how do we put this into practice, especially when life gets busy and we get distracted? It starts with mindfulness, with making a conscious effort to be present when we're with our loved ones. It means really listening when they speak, engaging with them fully, and showing them through our actions that they matter to us. Expressing gratitude is another key aspect. It's about letting our loved ones know that we appreciate them, not just in grand gestures, but in the everyday small moments that truly define our relationships. A simple thank you, a note of appreciation, or a kind word can mean so much. It acknowledges the value of the other person and the contribution they make to our lives. And then there's expressing love, which can be done in countless ways, tailored to the individual and the relationship. It might be spending quality time together, offering support during challenging times, or sharing joys and successes. Love, in the Stoic sense, is active and engaged. It's about showing up for people, being there in the moments that matter. Making time for our loved ones is perhaps the most crucial part. In our busy lives, it's all too easy to let relationships slide, to assume that people will always be there. But the Stoic reminder of the impermanence of life urges us to prioritize our relationships, to carve out time for those who matter most, even when it feels like there are a million other things demanding our attention. Cherishing our loved ones is about recognizing the irreplaceable role they play in our lives and honoring that with our time, our attention, and our affection. It's about building and nurturing those bonds, knowing that they are the true source of richness and meaning in our lives. Remember that the journey of life is one we share with those we hold dear. Cherish every moment, embrace every opportunity to show love, and never underestimate the power of presence. Did you know that the majority of walk through life feeling like we're not in control of our destiny? It's a common experience. Feeling like you're being pushed along by circumstances, by other people's expectations, or even by your own fears and doubts. But here's a powerful thought from Stoic philosophy that might just change the way you see everything. You have power over your mind, not outside solemnity. Realize this and you will find strength. It's Marcus Aurelius reminding us that true power comes from within. Today, we're diving deep into the 6 rules to win in life, inspired by the resilience and wisdom of Stoic philosophy. These aren't just tips, they are transformational ways of thinking that can lead you to a life of real achievement and emotional strength. If you find value in what we're discussing here, do me a simple, free favor. Hit that subscribe button. It helps more than you might think. And stick with me, because each rule we're going to explore could be the key to unlocking a new chapter in your life. Whether you're looking for a complete turnaround or just a few tweaks to better align with your core values, today's episode is laid for you. Let's explore these ancient truths that continue to resonate so powerfully in our modern lives. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a new beginning. You look back and see your past mistakes made, opportunities missed, and the echo of what could have been ringing loud. But here's the thing, that past doesn't have the power to dictate your future unless you let it. This is where believing in your power to change creates a new chapter. And it's foundational to Stoic philosophy, which teaches us that we are in control of our perceptions and reactions. The Stoics, like Epictetus, believe that our minds have the incredible power to shape our experiences and realities. He famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you embrace this mindset, you start seeing yourself as the powerful creator of your own life, not just a passive participant. You have the ability to sculpt your future, thought by thought, action. So, how do you start believing in your power to change? It begins with understanding that your mental and emotional muscles are just like physical ones. The more you use them, the stronger they become. Every moment you choose patience over frustration, positivity over negativity, action over procrastination, you are exercising those muscles. It's about making small, consistent choices that steer your life in a direction aligned with your deepest values. Exercise faith. You are exercising passion. You are exercising faith. Believing in your power to change also means stepping out of your comfort zone. The Stoics weren't about living a life of comfort. They were about living a life of moral virtue and personal accelerance. They challenged themselves to grow from every situation, especially the challenging ones. Marcus Aurelius viewed obstacles as opportunities. To him, what stood in the way became the way. When you start viewing your challenges through this lens, every obstacle becomes a stepping stone towards personal growth and resilience. Moreover, cultivating this belief requires you to look critically at the narratives you tell yourself. Are they narratives of empowerment or self-doubt? Start rewriting those stories. If you've always told yourself, "I'm not good at public speaking," start telling yourself, "I am improving at public speaking every day." Words have power, and by changing your words, you begin to change your reality. This belief in change is not just about personal affirmations. It's deeply practical. It involves setting clear, achievable goals and breaking them down into steps that feel manageable. It's about progress, not perfection. Celebrate each small victory along the way. These build up, reinforcing your belief in your ability to change and pushing you toward longer success. Stoicism also teaches the importance of reflecting on your day. Take a moment each evening to think about what went well and what could have gone better. This practice, known as the daily Stoic reflection, helps you become more mindful of your ability to influence your actions and reactions. It encourages a mindset of continuous improvement and adaptation, which is essential for personal growth. In embracing your power to change, remember that patience is your ollie. Change doesn't happen overnight. Just like the Stoics, you must be steadfast in your efforts, resilient in your setbacks, and always willing to learn from each experience. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a step toward transforming your life. Believing in your power to change is ultimately about taking responsibility for your life. It's about making a conscious decision to not be defined by external circumstances, but by how you respond to them. It's a commitment to stop being an actor in someone else's script and start writing your own. So take that pen, face that blank page, and start crafting a story you'll be proud to live. One decision, one belief, one action at a time. Life isn't always going to hand you easy wins. Sometimes it feels like it's just piling on one challenge after another. But here's the scoop. The tough times, they're your secret weapon. It's in these moments, right in the thick of struggle, that the core of who you are is forged. Stoicism, a philosophy built on resilience and inner strength, teaches us just that. The Stoics saw every hardship as a chance to practice virtues like courage, perseverance, and adaptability. They didn't just endure struggles, they welcomed them as opportunities to grow stronger. When you start to embrace your struggles, you shift from feeling victimized by your circumstances to becoming a proactive partisan in your own life. Think about a time when something didn't go as planned. Maybe you lost a job, endured a tough breakup, or faced a health scare. Initially, it might have felt like the world was caving in, but upon reflection, you lately found that you gained something invaluable from each experience. Maybe it was a lesson in self-reliance, a clearer understanding of what you truly value, or the realization of your own resilience. Each struggle has the potential to teach us something profound. Embracing struggles also means maintaining a level head when things seem out of control. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Just like a diamond emerging brilliant and strong from pressure, our characters are shaped and perfected through the challenges we face. This perspective encourages you not only to survive tough times, but to thrive because of them. But how do you practically embrace struggle? Start by resetting your mindset. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What is this teaching me?" Every challenge comes with a lesson, and finding that lesson can transform a negative situation into a powerful catalyst for personal development. It's about shifting from a mindset of scarcity and fear to one of growth and opportunity. Additionally, embracing struggles involves staying present during tough times. It's easy to dwell on past misfortunes or worry about future difficulties. But Stoicism teaches the value of living in the present moment. This doesn't mean ignoring the past or future, but it does mean focusing on what you can control right here and right now. Often that means taking actionable steps to mitigate a problem, leaning into supportive relationships, or even just maintaining your mental composure. Building resilience is another practical approach to embracing struggle. Resilience doesn't mean you won't feel the pressure. It means you're equipped to bounce back from setbacks. You can build resilience by setting small, manageable goals, maintaining a routine that includes time for self-care, and continuously learning from each experience. Over time, what once seemed like insurmountable challenges will start to feel manageable. Even welcome tests of your growing strength. Lastly, share your journey. Connecting with others about your struggles and how you're working through them can be incredibly empowering. It not only helps you process what you're going through, but also inspires others who might be facing their own battles. Remember, embracing your struggles doesn't have to be a solitary journey. In true Stoic fashion, leverage your community for support, wisdom, and a little extra strength when needed. You know that feeling when you're around people who just get you, where the conversation flows, the ideas bounce back and forth, and you leave feeling energized rather than drained? That's no accident. The pumpy we keep doesn't just influence our mood, it shapes our entire journey through life. It's crucial then to be intentional about whom we choose to spend our time with. Because, as the Stoics would remind us, our character is molded by our environment. Stoicism teaches us that personal growth and success are not solely the product of our own thoughts and actions, but also the influence of those we surround ourselves with. Seneca wrote extensively about the importance of friendship and its impact on our moral and ethical development. He suggested that we form bonds with those who embody the qualities we aspire to have ourselves, because habits, good and bad alike, are contagious. Consider this. If you're on a path to self-improvement, whether it's pursuing a new career, developing healthier habits, or cultivating a more positive mindset, having friends who not only support these goals but are also on similar journeys themselves can make all the difference. They aren't just cheerleaders. They understand your struggles, share insights, and inspire you just by being examples of what's possible. It's also about more than just mutual interests or goals. Surrounding yourself with the right people means seeking out those who challenge you in constructive ways. A true friend doesn't just pat you on the back. They challenge you to grow, to think differently, and to push beyond your perceived limits. In the context of Stoicism, this means engaging with people who question your assumptions and help you refine your reasoning and virtues. These interactions are invaluable because they force you to defend your ideas or consider new perspectives, leading to deeper understanding and personal growth. But let's be real, this isn't about creating an echo chamber. It's about cultivating a diverse network that enriches your life. It's about finding people who bring different perspectives, skills, and experiences to the table. Diversity in your circle encourages creativity and helps you see the world through multiple lenses, which is essential for developing a well-running character. Now, how do you find these right people? Start by being the kind of person you want to attract. Exhibit the qualities that you value in others: integrity, kindness, resilience, and curiosity. Show up as someone who adds value, who listens, and who cares. Then, Look for those traits in others. Attend events that line with your interests. Join clubs or groups that reflect your values and reach out to individuals who inspire you. Moreover, don't forget to prune your social circle when necessary. Stoicism doesn't just teach acceptance, it teaches discernment. It's okay to distance yourself from those who consistently drain your energy or detract from your growth. This isn't about being harsh or judgmental, it's about protecting your space and investing your time wisely. Remember, it's your right and responsibility to protect your peace and prioritize relationships that are truly reciprocal and beneficial. Let's face it, we all have those days when we're just not feeling it, whether it's hitting the gym, tackling that project, or even just getting out of bed. But here's where the real game changer comes in, staying the course even when the spark isn't there. Consistency isn't about having a constant rush of motivation, it's about commitment. It's what separates the dreamers from the doers, and it's deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy. Stoicism teaches us about the importance of discipline and perseverance. For Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, life was about doing the work that needs to be done, regardless of how one feels about it. He famously wrote in his meditations about the necessity of getting out of bed, waking up with purpose, despite his personal reluctance. This practice of consistency isn't just about productivity, it's a form of ethical living. By staying committed to our goals, we line our actions with our values, creating a harmonious and meaningful life. So, how do we cultivate this kind of consistency? First, it begins with setting clear intentions. Know what you want to achieve and why it's important to you. This clarity will be your anchor on days when motivation wanes. Once your goals are set, break them down into manageable tasks. The idea is to create a routine that supports your ambitions, turning productive actions into daily habits. Over time, these habits build on each other, compounding into significant progress. It's also crucial to develop a mindset that embraces the mundane aspects of any journey. Stoicism doesn't glamorize the path to success. Instead, it allows us that much of life is about handling the ordinary with grace and commitment. Every small, consistent action is a building block for longer achievements. Whether it's writing a single page each day, practicing a musical instrument, or dedicating regular time to study, these aren't just tasks, they are stepping stones to mastery. Embracing the philosophy of amor fati, a love of fate, is another Stoic principle that can enhance your ability to stay consistent. This concept teaches us to love everything that happens, including the challenges and the seemingly repetitive or boring tasks. By learning to love the process, not just the outcomes, we find value in the persistence itself. This shift in perspective can transform our approach to daily tasks, turning them from chores into choices that define us. Of course, staying consistent is easier said than done. It requires you to keep pushing even when you see no immediate results. It's like planting a tree. You water it daily, not because you expect it to bear fruit overnight, but because you know that each drop contributes to its growth. Patience and persistence are key, and when you falter, as we all do, it's important to be kind to yourself. Reflect on what led to the lapse and how you can prevent it in the future. But don't dwell. Each day offers a new start, a fresh opportunity to reaffirm your commitment. Finally, accountability can play a significant role in maintaining consistency. Share your goals with a friend, join a group with similar interests, or keep a progress journal. These tools not only keep you accountable, but also provide support and encouragement along the way. Ever noticed how some of the best stories start with a stumble? Think about it, every hero faces their share of defeats before they save the day. It's not the setbacks that define them, but how they bounce back. That's not just a formula for good storytelling, it's a powerful lesson in life. Learning from failures isn't about glossing over them or pretending they don't sting. It's about mining them for insights and turning them into stepping stones. And this is where Stoic philosophy really shines, offering a timeless framework for turning adversity into advantage. Stoicism teaches us that every obstacle is an opportunity to practice some virtue. patience, courage, humility, resourcefulness. For Stoics like Epictetus, it was not the events themselves but our responses to them that mattered most. This perspective shifts how we view failures, from being endpoints to being part of the learning curve. Deaths are feedback, and feedback is the breakfast of champions. It tells you where the gaps are, what needs improvement, and how to refine your strategies. By embracing this mindset, you're not just recovering from a fall, you're preparing to leap. Think about the last time something didn't go according to plan in your life. Maybe a job interview went sideways, or a project you were passionate about didn't pan out. It's natural to feel a rush of disappointment, maybe even a bit of embarrassment. But once the dust settles, that's your moment to turn the spotlight on what went wrong. Dive deep. Were there warning signs you overlooked? Skills you might have underestimated the importance of? Mystics in communication, each of these elements holds a clue, a lesson that's tailor-made to help you grow. But it's not just about dissecting what went wrong, it's also about appreciating what this failure teaches about resilience and adaptability. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the impermanence of troubles and the resilience of the human spirit. He advised to meet challenges with dignity and to always be prepared to accept and adapt to our circumstances. When you learn from your failures, you're essentially training yourself to be more resilient. You're building a toolkit that equips you to handle future challenges with greater skill and confidence. Learning from failure also means learning to let go of fear. Often, it's not the failure itself that holds us back, but our fear of failing again. Here, too, Stoicism offers valuable advice. Focus on what's within your control. You can't change the past, but you can influence the future. You can decide how to react, what to learn, and what actions to take next. Instead of being paralyzed by fear, use it as fuel. Convert anxiety into action, and let your failures teach you how to be fearless. And remember, you're not in this alone. Share your experiences, the good and the bad. When you open up about your failures, you do two things. You normalize the learning process for everyone around you, and you allow others to learn from your experience as well. This not only strengthens your connections, but also builds a culture where failure is seen not as a source of shame, but as a common ground for growth. Life's like being in the driver's seat of a car on a vast, sprawling highway. You can stick to a familiar route, or you can turn off onto roads less traveled and explore new territories. The choice is yours, but remember, the journey doesn't stop unless you decide to pull over. Staying curious, hungry for knowledge, and open to change. These are the fuels that keep your engine running and your journey exciting. Embracing a mindset of constantly learning and self-improvement, which advocates for a life of constant learning and self-improvement. Stoicism isn't just about enduring life's challenges, it's about thriving through them by continuously adapting and growing. Consider the words of Seneca, who urged us to be a student always. He means staying in school forever. He means maintaining the mindset of a learner throughout your life. No matter your age, career, or stage in life, there's always something new to discover, and every experience offers a lesson to be learned. To never stop evolving means to make a conscious effort to push beyond your current boundaries. It's about setting new goals once old ones are met, and seeking challenges that stretch your abilities and force you to grow. It's also about reflecting on your personal and professional life regularly, identifying areas for improvement, and taking deliberate steps to address them. This kind of introspection and proactive change aligns closely with the Stoic practice of self-examination and discipline. Moreover, embracing change and seeking growth also involves cultivating adaptability, a trait highly regarded in Stoic teachings. Just like a tree that bends with the wind but doesn't break, being adaptable in the face of life's constant changes helps you not only to survive, but to thrive. It means not getting too attached to current successes or ways of doing things. Markets change, new technologies evolve, and by staying flexible, you remain relevant and vibrant. Part of never stopping your evolution is also about opening yourself up to new ideas and perspectives. It's easy to become comfortable with what you know and whom you know, but growth often lies in the unfamiliar. Listen to others, especially those who might see the world differently. Engage with content that challenges your existing beliefs and consider it thoughtfully. This practice not only broadens your understanding, but also deepens your capacity for empathy and connection. Stories also emphasize the role of community and personal growth. By surrounding yourself with people who are also committed to personal and professional growth, you create an environment that is conducive to continuous evolution. These relationships can provide motivation, insight, and feedback that are essential for personal development. They act like mirrors, reflecting your strengths and ideas that can catalyze your growth. Lastly, never stopping your evolution means embracing lifelong learning in its many forms. Whether through formal education, reading, travel, or engaging in new skills not only keeps your brain sharp, but also opens up new opportunities and ways of seeing the world. It helps keep life fresh and exciting. During that, you're not just passing through life, but actively engaging with it. In meaningful ways,